It's Olivia and I'm going to be making a needle felting kitty that looks exactly like this. And so you can use this to make a gift for your friends, or you can make it as a decoration around your house. And it's really easy to needle felt. Like, I learned how to do it just watching a YouTube video, and I believe that you guys could learn how to do it too. And you're just going to get your materials from Ben Franklin, any craft store really. So my materials are gray felting wool, black felting wool, pink felting wool, and white felting wool. But you can use any colors you want. You can make like a purple and blue kitty if you wanted to. It really doesn't matter. And I have a needle felting board right here. This is just one type. You can get the styrofoam types. There's many others. I'm also going to use a ruler, a dab of tacky glue, scissors, little black pom-poms for the eyes, but you can also just use your black felting wool for the eyes if you wanted to. And then I'm going to use also a felting needle to felt. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take about a ½ inch width of gray felting wool, and then we're going to measure out 2 feet. Just take it, overlap it, and then that will make 2 feet. And then we're going to roll it out. And then so you want it to make like an egg shape, but you don't want it to be too loose, because then once you start needle felting, it'll be really hard to get all the fibers back into the shape of an egg. So then you're going to want to roll it like moderately tightly, but then keep in mind it'll also condense once you start needle felting. So then the first thing I like to do when I start this, I like to take the end and then secure it to the body with my needle. And then it really doesn't matter where you poke. I mean, as long as you get it to be like all the same like height and width by the time you're done. So don't worry if it's not coming out the shape you want it to at first. If you see like a bump, just press it down. And then it'll start to condense after about like maybe 20 minutes. So you're gonna have to be patient with it. Don't expect this to be done in like 2 minutes. You can also use more needles if you're like 2 days away from Christmas and you're just like getting this done. And then once you're done with that, it'll look something similar to this. And then as you can see, it's like really, it's not too squishy, and it's pretty firm, and that's how you want it. And then so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get about 14 inches of gray wool, and we're going to make the head. So we're just going to roll it up the same way we did with the body. And then you might want to make it a little more rectangular so that it kind of looks right in proportion to the head. And then you're going to secure the end like you did before. And then to make it into the shape of a circle instead of like a rectangle like it might turn out, you want to like maybe squish it, and then just take your needle and then hold it with your finger and then just poke kind of around your finger. And then it might take like maybe a little less time than the body did, but it'll still take around the same time since you still want it firm. And then once you're done with that, you're going to have a head minus the ears. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the ears for this kitty. So you're going to take about 2 inches, and then first to make the triangle shape, you're going to take your needle, and then you're going to bend the wool over it once, so it'll make like that shape. And then you're going to take your needle again, and then bend it over a second time, so that it makes this, the shape of a triangle. And then, of course, you're not going to want an ear that big, but then once you start to poke it, it's going to get really small. And then, so the trick to doing this is you're just going to angle your needle, and then that'll define the tip. So like if you go like that, then the tip will start to become a tip again. And then to make it flat and to also condense it, you're just going to poke it straight on. And then remember to flip it over. And then every once in a while, once it becomes smaller and smaller, just keep on holding it up to the head and then realize how big or small you may want it. And then so that's the finished ear. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the legs. So we're going to take about 4 inches of wool. We're going to roll it up just like we did for the body and for the head. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make like a jelly bean shape. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make it into a cylinder kind of. So you're just going to keep on poking. And then since this is going to take a while to make the whole cylinder, I'm going to show you guys what to do after you make the cylinder. So as you can see, it doesn't really look like a jelly bean yet. So what you're going to do is you're going to crease it with your fingers just like that. Let me put it in the other hand. And then you're going to felt right on the crease. So just poke right where the crease is. And then keep holding it with your fingers. And then make sure you don't poke your fingers by just going right in the middle consistently. And then once you've got that, it makes kind of the shape of a jelly bean, and you want that because you kind of want it to look like your kitty is hugging itself or like cuddling a ball. And then so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our face with no details on it yet, and then we're going to take some white, and then we're going to flatten it in between our palms just like that so it kind of makes the shape. And of course it's not a perfect circle yet, but then this is how you're going to fix that. You're just going to lay it right on so that you kind of make like a semicircle, and then it's kind of halfway in between the face. And then all you're going to do is you're going to poke it so that it stays flat. And then of course you're going to have this like weird looking thing, but then once you're done, you're just going to fold it over and then cut around the edges. And then so that's what it looks like once you've done that. And then to make the nose, all you gotta do is take a little bit of your pink felting wool and then roll it between your fingers. You can like cut it if you got too much. And then all you're gonna do is you're just gonna take it directly on the face. Just start poking it. I know it's not in the shape of a triangle yet, but you're just gonna poke it. And then once you start poking it and it gets in place, you can then fold it over with your needle like this and then poke it into place. So don't worry if it's not perfect at first. It'll start to take shape once you get everything in place. And then it should look like that. So, and then we'll add the eyes later. And then so what you're going to do is you're going to attach the ears now. So of course I already put the ears on now, but this one is kind of like half on, it's kind of wiggly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it at an angle with my needle. So we do this so that you get the ear and the head fibers simultaneously so that they kind of intertwine, and that's what makes it so condensed. And then usually I like to put wool right in between the head and the ear so that I get it really attached. Because if you have like condensed wool and condensed wool, then it doesn't always connect great. You kind of want it to sandwich it so that you have no new wool and then old wool, so then they'll attach better. And then to add the pink inside the ears, like for this one, you're kind of going to do what you did with the nose, just kind of start poking it first and then start to make it into the side of the triangle. You should probably roll it up first so that you kind of get the general shape before you start poking it in, so that you're not working with this like loose fabric. Just going to start poking, and then you probably want to lay it against the board so that, and don't hold it like up in midair, because then that makes it really easy for you to poke your fingers, which I know from experience. And like my brother said, you're not a professional needle felter until you've like poked your finger and drawn blood. But you want to avoid that. And so don't worry if it's not perfect. It's still cute as long as you have a splash of pink in there. And then so now we're gonna make the tummy white. So as you can see here, I already did it, but I'm gonna show you guys how to do it really quickly. We're just gonna do like what we did with the face. We're gonna flatten out some white. We're gonna put it right up against the stomach, and then we're just gonna poke it right on there. And then just poke it all around. And then if you notice that you have some kind of like spots where the gray shows through, you can either like take some off here and then place it inside and then go like that. And then again, like what you did with the face, cut off the excess. So then once you've done that, what I like to do is I like to make markings on the cat so it kind of has some personality. So consider like not skipping this step, since it like gives the cat like a whole new dimension and it makes the cat look really real. So I'm gonna add it on to one of the arms. So I'm just gonna roll it up really, really tiny, like kind of like a worm, and then you're just gonna lay it right on, and then hold it with your fingers, and then try to poke it as directly as possible. So kind of like that. And then it might take a while because it might look like it's on because you're holding it, but you want to keep on doing it until you want to do a test tug, and then once it's on, you can just cut it off like that. And then you can do it all around the cat arm, and then you can also do it like on the cat face and the tail too. And then so now we're gonna attach everything. So I may not attach everything for you guys, but I'm just gonna show you the general idea of what to do. We're just gonna take some extra wool. We're gonna smash it in between the body and the head. And then first we're gonna poke horizontally like that, so that we connect the wool. And then we're gonna poke at an angle like we did before. And then this takes quite a while, especially because they're both kind of already made, so they're both firm, and then the only thing really attaching them is the extra fur in between, and then the needle trying to get through. And then you're gonna do the same thing with the arms and the legs. You're gonna take them, and then you're gonna add some extra wool, and then make it look like the cat is hugging itself again, and then angle it, and poke it straight onto. And then to make the tail, we're just going to take about 6 inches of wool, including this, and then we're just going to roll it up. And you want it like a long cylinder shape, since the tail is like longer than the arms are not as like fat. And then you're just going to attach the end and then condense it until it comes into the shape of a tail. And then it's going to look like this when you're done. And then, like I did before, take some felt, put it in between, and then poke right there. And then you can add markings to that also. And then so after that, you're just going to take your eyes. What I did to the pom-poms is I put little white paint in between them. I mean, in the middle of them. And then you just have to poke where you want to put the eyes repeatedly so that it makes these pits, if you guys can see them. Like that. And then you're going to take a dab of glue, put it right inside the eye, and then you can position it the way you think it looks cutest. So you could make the kitty go cross-eyed or anything you want to make it like personalized and different from other kitties. And you're just going to do that again with the other eye. And then position them in place so that they kind of look the same. And then after you've attached everything beforehand, you've got your kitty like this. And you can also make a little ball if you want to, so that it looks like it's playing with it. Okay, so thank you. My name is Olivia Sakaguchi, and I hope you guys take this technique of needle felting to do something else. And this kitty cat can start off your collection of needle felting, and it's really good as a gift or something around the house. Thank you.